Okie dokie. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our sixth week of the EGL Waveline. This is your host, Exernian. I'm also the head producer, I guess, but no one cares about the stream, right? Yeah. But we are back with the one and only Clutch. He was on vacation, but here
Hello.
he is, Mr.
I've
Clutch.
returned.
He has returned. How was your vacation, man?
Pretty good. I went kayaking and I kept running into trees because I didn't know how to steer the kayak. I just knew how to go fast. So I would just keep running into trees left and right. But it was fun. It was a great time. Glad to be back for some more EGL action. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like we were supposed to also have Sultan on the show today, but Sultan he had something come up. I can't leak. I can't leak. So I won't leak. But
Hmm.
Sultan, he was supposed to be on the show, so obviously his predictions are still on, the slides. But you guys can look at him, judge him, and then maybe DM him about it, deflame him. I don't know. But Matt Pizza, as per usual, is on the show. Matt Pizza, how are you tonight?
Oh, I am doing fantastic now that I don't have to talk 24/7 because we
Oh,
have
true,
Clutch back.
Oh
So,
true.
no. Wait a minute, guys. Not how that works.
so I'm just vibing. I get to talk a little less. People get to hear my voice less and get to hear Cole's voice a lot more.
If you
So,
guys
That
want to hear the Matt Pizza voice, if you go on to
please no.
twitch.tv/elemental_league, you're already here. Go into, the VODs.
yeah.
You'll see,
Go
if you
watch the
click
last.
the VOD from last week,
Yeah, guys.
him and Kobe did some pretty
That's
good casting for TFA versus UEA. It was
Yeah,
pretty banger
it was good.
series in EDL if you guys want to
Uh,
see some IBS action. But anyways, we'll get right into it. So obviously, as usual, we're gonna look at what happened last week. So we had Hyperion versus Flippa United. So Hyperion Origin is now pulling themselves. I think they're 5-0 in the season now, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Hyperion Origin is undefeated. We're at week 6 of a 7-week regular season. So Hyperion Origin, they could look to just pull a perfect record. So honestly, this team's been playing really well and it's showing. So congrats to them. 2-0 last week. And then the next series was Big Duck Entourage Gold versus Hawkthorn Esports. So if I remember correctly, this was a match that was heavily favored towards Hawkthorn. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Yeah. So we all we all predicted Hawkthorn last week. BDE did take us by surprise, and honestly, um, it's not an unwelcome surprise. They're obviously still 1-4 in the season, so it's going to be looking a little tough for them to hope for a playoff spot, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So then we have VBU versus Revolution. Obviously, this was our streamed game last week, so VOD should be up on the Twitch channel still. I'm pretty sure I uploaded it to YouTube. If it's not there, just let me know. Um, yeah, honestly, this was a kind of a big stomp by VBU. We didn't really expect anything else. It was on if you guys did tune in the support Islamic Samurai, it was on his birthday. So happy
Oh,
belated birthday to Islamic Samurai. It was last week on the VOD. You can
woo.
go watch him 2 Rev, I guess, as his birthday present. And last but not least, we have Abyssal Sapphire versus Monkeys Rising. So, Clutch and I, we're the smart analysts, you see. We voted for
Woo!
Abyssal. Abyssal. So, I think my jersey's coming soon, It was in the mail last week, so, maybe I'm expecting something, a package at my door soon. But we'll start from the beginning. So, Clutch, Hyperion Origin versus Flippa. Last week you said it would be a 2-1 for Flippa United. So, why did you think that Flippa was going to take the first, take the first game or first series from Hyperion?
When did I leave for vacation?
Uh, it was like,
Just was it Sunday or was it Monday?
I think it was
think it
Sunday.
was Sunday.
But you told me your predictions, so
Yeah. So it was probably probably wasn't actually here, guys. No, I'm kidding. So you got to pick an upset. And I thought maybe this is the time when Flippa shines. They come in. It's the tournament arc. This is it. This is finally their time to shine, and obviously it was not. I mean, Hyperion, clearly the best team in the league. They're just hands and shoulders above literally every single team in the league. But Hyperion, now have clinched playoffs. We'll talk about that a little bit, but they've clinched playoffs. They're in now, so they could lose every single game and they'd still be in the playoffs. Now, obviously, they're not going to do that, but yeah, I mean, Flippa just seemed like they were outclassed. They didn't really have much to do against Hyperion, and Hyperion's just been on fire this entire split. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just go undefeated and head into the playoffs 7-0.
Yeah, I did take a look. One of the team members, I think, streamed their game. I think it was Zuko. But I mean, I took a glance at the VOD, and honestly, like you said, Clutch, they were just outclassing Flippa in every position.
Yep.
Obviously, we've pointed out Dracana, the kind of star mid laner of the league and of this team, and like it doesn't even need to be Dracana that pops off. Sure, they're the one who pops off kind of most of the time, but we're seeing like Lo-Fi, even Rune Mage and Attila, they're all playing really well too, right? And yeah, honestly, Zuko, I think he fits into the team comp and just overall Hyperion Origin, like I said in the previous weeks, they have something that works and just keep just keep doing what you're doing because it's obviously working for you guys and it's doing well. And no team seems to have really cracked the code, I, I would say. So, Matt Pizza, last week you said 2-1 Hyperion. So, I mean, you were on the right side. Did you think, well, okay, you did say Hyperion was going to drop a game to Flippa. So,
Hmm. My thoughts was that Vanquish, Riv 60, and Spheric, they're a really good bot lane, and it did have Nets as their mid laner. So I was like, these three players are really good, and I was like, maybe there is a chance Hyperion does drop a game to them. Um, but I mean, I guess not. There was a 2-0. And if you look at the second game, it was a really close game, right? We have Riv 60, 13-5 on the Tristana. And unfortunately, like Hyperion just had the better teamwork. They had the Jinx with the Narcisse and Dracana's brand damage coming in, and then like it was just a good like synergy coming in from the side of Hyperion Origin. So, my 2-1 prediction was kind of off, but they just have better teamwork.
yeah, I mean, like you said, Matt Pizza, they're like just overall, they have so much coherency as a team and it's just I don't know how another team's gonna beat them, just seeing as they've gotten so far into the season without dropping a series yet. And honestly, I
Hmm.
do think Flippa is better than what most teams are making them out to be. Obviously, don't just like kind of brush them aside. But moving on, we'll look at Big Duck Entourage versus Hawkthorn Esports. So I'm looking at this again. We all voted for Hawkthorn last week. So Clutch, what do you think happened in the series?
So what looks like, I mean, I don't want to leak too much because I kind of help this team. But basically, obviously we've known in the past 2 weeks they've been slumping, right? They have not been doing very well. And BDE comes in as a team that's been on the rise. We've been saying that even though they're like before this they won, they were 0-4. We're like, but this team's winning games. Like they are winning games. They just can't close out a series. They're taking games off of teams. So like are they are 0-4, but they're not really 0-4. Like they are winning games. I think personally they're better than Monkeys Rising, even though Monkeys Rising are ahead of them in the standings. BDE on the rise, Hawkthorn on the down. They go against each other. Obviously, momentum plays a huge factor in League of Legends, and BDE is just able to take the 2-1. They finally
Mm-hmm.
close it out. They get a huge win because if they didn't win, I believe they were just eliminated from the playoffs. Like they needed to win.
Right.
So they win that, they stay alive, and this is huge because Hawkthorn, they're 2-3. They still have to play Hyperion. Like they haven't played them yet, which is the final week. So now, for example, we see BDE wins next week. Hawkthorn loses this week, whoever they're playing against Flippa, and then they lose next week. They're in a tiebreaker with BDE, and guess what? BDE wins the tiebreaker, so that means they're in and Hawkthorn's out. So this was a massive game. They had to win, and they did. BDE, they look pretty solid, and I would not be surprised if BDE do make the playoffs. I think they have a very good chance.
Yeah, and sorry, quick correction. BDE is above Monkeys Rising in the standings. I think BDE is at a
Monkeys
negative.
Rising has head-to-head,
That's true.
but that's not in the
That's
reflective in the
true.
standings.
That is true. But I guess currently, if you're looking at overall standings,
Yeah.
BDE has the better game differential. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you've said. BDE, obviously, I did sneak a peek at the game 3. Where's that game 2? Matt Pizza, you were there. Did we watch game 2 and game 3 or just game
3.
3?
I believe we just watched game 3
Game
when
3.
you know.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember now. So game 3, so me, Matt Pizza, a few other staff members kind of like took a sneak peek into the third game of the series, and it was a really, really close series. Honestly, I remember playing. I think Altazi was playing Nasus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Altazi was playing Nasus, and he was kind of losing early, and then there were other parts and members of BDE that was doing well, and then BDE just knew how to play the team fights. They knew how to push their lead and just win and close out that game. It was a really close game, regardless, but overall, I do think that BDE did deserve that series win. Just looking from game 3, but again, I didn't get to really see game 1, game 2, so I could just be this could just be really like one really really big hot take. So that kind of looks like that's like my whole opinion at this point. So honestly, Hawthorne, like everyone else has said, Hawthorne is still a good team. There's no doubt about that, but it feels like everyone has already figured out how to beat Hawthorne, right? We are playing like this hyper aggressive bot lane. We're always looking to dive, but dives are so punishing. Like if you mess up one dive, right, your whole team is dead. You miss XP, you miss gold, and then your lane, like your enemy laners, they get kills. They get like so many resources are put onto the line when you're diving and you're playing so aggressively, right? And you don't like wait to scale. You don't play safe, and instead of trying to play to gain an advantage, you play like it's a war of attrition, right? I think that's another style that I think Hawthorne should try to work towards. So instead of trying to get ahead of the enemy team, you should maybe try to look to, have them lose things slowly and slowly. But I don't know. I'm not their coach. I'm just throwing it into the air. It's something maybe they're already working on something like that. I don't know. So, Matt Pizza, do you have any final thoughts on this series?
I mean, from the one game that we watched, right? Like, it always seems to end up in the same situation where Countess is ahead, their bot lane is doing well, but then you just have stuff like a Vladimir that just comes on by and is just like, hey guys, I know you're a Fed ADC, but I don't really care, and you're just gonna get one shot no matter what I do. And it's just like, it's just ADC in 2021, and if you don't have a team that like is able to play around that and like work with it, it's just a hard play style to work with when it's your ADC being the only one that's ahead. Um, but you know, we're going into a new week, new player, new opponent, new team. Hawthorne's playing against, and I still believe in them. Still a Hawthorne fan. Don't have my jersey yet. I don't know if I'm ever getting my jersey, but hopefully I do. But
Yeah, I got you, Matt Pizza.
oh, that's sick,
Whoa,
awesome.
whoa, where's my jersey?
Yeah, I'll
You
get
have
you
your
one too.
abyssal surge. What?
Whoa,
Yeah, wait,
whoa,
you
Whoa,
have
whoa.
Abyssal too.
yo,
You
Tex
want
didn't
two?
even send me my Revolution
Oh my! What are you just
jersey.
gonna get a jersey of every team, and then whenever they're winning, you're like, woo!
Yeah, that's actually the strat. That's called the Matt Pizza strat, where I legit just vote for like everyone.
yo.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting. Tex, I don't know if he's listening. I'm waiting for my Rev jersey. What's going on? Okay. Well, yeah. Honestly, that series is. Yeah. I mean, who does Hawthorne have to play? They're playing Flippa this week, and next week they're playing Hyperion on stream. So, like Clutch mentioned earlier, their season is looking rough, right? Their season is looking, not the easiest to finish out, and it's it's difficult, right? If you're looking to, go for the playoff spot, and you're 2-3 in the season, and you lost a big head to head. It's difficult. I don't know if Hawthorne will make playoffs, right? And it really depends how these next 2 weeks go. But we'll look at the next series. So VBU versus Revolution Gold. This was the stream match, like I mentioned. So, Matt Pizza, were you watching the stream like you were supposed to?
Yeah,
I
totally.
even watched
Oh,
it.
oh
I
my
even watched
goodness.
it. I was
Well,
on
I was
dude
vacation
was
when I
on
watched it.
vacation. Hello?
no wait, no, yeah, I remember watching this. This is when Toxin just 1v9 on Samira did Samira things. I remember that. Game two, at least. I know I watched the end of it when Vibu was doing Baron, and then Toxin just goes in, does Samir things, Q, W, E, Q, auto, 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 Samir ult, Inferno trigger,
Okay, that's
Burr,
the combo right there.
Quadra
Write it down,
kill.
guys.
Okay, so Matt Pizza, he's gonna, when we do recaps of games, he's just gonna like do whatever
Oh
format that
no.
is, right?
Yeah.
uh,
Uh-huh. Now you see guys how he has no words now? Uh-huh. Okay, Matt Pizza, I see you.
uh,
Honestly,
I
this
mean, you want
series
me to
was,
go?
like I mentioned earlier, played very, very well by VBU. They had a lot of good plays. There was one I remember in the bot lane, with TPs, and my memory's hazy. I'm old. This is what happens when you watch so many games. But I'm pretty sure there was two TPs and a dive, and then I wasn't sure what Rev was doing. Like they kind of just like went in and then just died, you know? I think Zygon was playing Viego, and then
mm-hmm.
after his whole team died, he still went in, and I was like, "Oh no, what's going on? What's going on, Rev?" Right? It kind of looked like Rev was just falling apart, and they didn't know how to answer. VB was very proactive all game and both games actually, and it really looked like they had a really solid plan going into both games. So honestly, VBU not a bad team, and Rev, I think they've still got some work to like some ways to go. They're 2-3. Obviously, they're not a bad team by any means. This week they're against Monkeys Rising on stream, so 8 p.m. Eastern. Week 7 they are playing against Abyssal Sapphire. So again, not the hardest 2 weeks because they've already gotten their Hyperion games out of the way, but not the easiest again. I think it's still, you're looking at some more difficult teams. But again, like honestly, I could see Revolution doing well in these 2 weeks, so that's all I have to say. So, Clutch, let me double check your prediction from last week. You
Hold up.
said, okay, you were correct. You said 2-0 VBU. I don't know what happened to like the reverse psychology.
Listen, vacation buff, okay? Just how it
Hmm.
works. Even though I got the other series wrong, okay? We don't talk about that. It's just the VBU buff, okay? I finally predicted right because, God was like, dude, this guy's predicting every single thing wrong. We have to give him one. I swear my predictions are below 50%. Like, they're so bad.
I don't
So,
have the current stat, but we'll check going into
he's
playoffs.
he's giving me a freebie, okay? He's giving me a freebie. That was the
Right.
freebie right.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to double check the analyst
I'm under it, dude.
stats.
There's no way I'm not under.
I don't think so. I think you've gotten most of them right for teams at least. I don't know about the scores. Yeah, I know who's gotten them mostly wrong. So,
Yeah, Sultan, right?
yeah, yeah, uh-huh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add to this series, Clutch?
Not really. I mean, it was just a quick 2-0 by VBU, and it was kind of like what everyone expected.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, Matt Pizza, if you had to pick out a star player on each team, who would you say for VBU and Revolution?
Let's see. For Revolution, I would probably go for BD and Zygon or Vixper. Both of those for me
For
were really good
VBU?
players. They played real. Or no, Rev. Did I say Rev? Oh
I
wow.
thought you said VBU.
Nah. Okay. Well, in that case, it's for Rev. Rev. Either Vixper or BD and Zygon. Both of them played really well. And then for VBU, I have to either say Chitin. Um. Yeah, I'd probably just say Kaiden for the side of VBU. A really good mid laner, kind of like gluing the team together and like actually like letting VBU get the dubs. So
Just letting VBU get the dubs. That's one way to put it. You have a way with words, Matt Pizza, as always.
of course.
So the last series of last week that we're going to be looking at is Abyssal Sapphire versus Monkeys Rising. So obviously, I think we were quite split. I think we were. Let me double check. Let's see. We had one person. Matt Pizza. You said 2-1 Monkeys Rising. I lied. You were the only person who said Monkeys Rising last week.
That was my hot take, and
Okay.
I didn't work out. But I got some insider tech from Packapol in the chat. Would have liked this when I was making the predictions, but I can't. I won't leak.
Okay.
No leaks.
Um. Okay. Okay,
Oh,
Matt Pete's
thank you.
just
That's really
thank you.
cool.
That was a
Yeah, I got
that
tech
was
from Paul, but I can't leak.
okay. Good talk, Matt Pizza. So Clutch and I, we both voted for Abyssal. You know, we're Abyssal fans. Yeah, Clutch, you were the only one to get the prediction perfect last week. You said 2-0 for Abyssal. Could you just remind us why you said 2-0 instead of a 2-1?
Because Abyssal's a good team now, guys. Come on. Like, I know you want the Monkeys Rising team to win, and I think they are a good team, but we got to be realistic here. Abyssal's a top 3 team in the league. We got James Moriarty and the Fire of the Fox. These two are so goddamn good. They are amazing players, and this week we're gonna really see how good Abyssal is because spoiler alert, it's VBU versus Abyssal, and that's probably a playoff matchup right there. A little bit of a teaser early on that we get to see in the regular season, but yeah, I mean Abyssal's just they are a really good team, and I love Monkeys Rising. I think they are a good team for their rank because remember most of them are like silver, right? So like they're doing a good job, but sometimes you got to be realistic. Abyssal just had the better, higher ranked players, and sometimes it's a little difficult when it's plat versus like high silver, low gold. You kind of just lose.
Yeah, I think Monkey's Rising. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna pull the map pizza. I don't know if I can leak, but
Oh, yeah, okay.
honestly, Monkey's Rising has been like kind of on a downhill slope after week one. Like they were doing well, and okay, week one they went against, I think their matchup was Hawthorne and they lost to Hawthorne. And then honestly, I did see some sparks of light from them. They played against BDE, went 2-1, and I thought I saw a lot of potential at least from Monkeys Rising. Obviously, when you're a silver-ish team in a gold league, you're gonna have some at least some skill disparity, just ranked wise, right? But I thought that Monkeys Rising, obviously they had a lot of time to play together. They have a lot of synergy, I thought, and I don't know. It's maybe there's some differences. I don't know. I'm not on the team, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought Bissell was the better team coming in and out of that series, and that showed a lot after their 2-0. So Matt Pizza, um, did you have anything left to say, or are you just gonna say, yeah, I was wrong? Your hot take.
Listen, I
Uh,
listen. Abyssal Sapphire, they are a good team. I mean, like when we first saw James Murray play in the mid lane, this guy was insane under Corky. And now that they have their new mid laner and James Moriarty in the bot lane, like they are a strong team. But I believed in Monkeys Rising, all right, and I'm gonna believe in the underdog teams, okay? Because like I said, 2 weeks ago, I believe was when I like basically was brainwashed into following everyone's predictions, and then they were all wrong, and then I was just like, wait a minute, I need my individuality back. I need my hot takes back. So therefore, I'm gonna try to do as many reasonable hot takes as I can.
reasonable. Okay.
Reasonable.
Okay, I like that take on the hot takes. Okay, so we'll get right into it. Then we're going to go into predictions for this week. So the first matchup we're going to be looking at is Hyperion Origin versus Big Duck Entourage. And Sultan, he's not here right now, but he was on the same side as everybody else. So Matt Pizza, that leaves you the only person 2-1 for Hyperion instead of a
Yeah,
2-0.
let's hear this. Let's hear this.
Okay, all right, guys. Like, listen, BD, they are a good team. We've said that they are a good team, and they have been taking games off
We
of
say every
people.
team's a good team.
Yeah,
No
okay, but they
offense.
have they haven't like just moved to the side and let teams roll over them. They've been taking at least a game off. All right, and I think that BD is gonna be able to take a game off of Hyperion Origin. Now, whether that's true, like you know, teamwork, luck,
Yeah, so how
micro,
are they gonna win? You can't just say they're gonna win a game. You gotta say how.
Well, if I
How
tell
are
you
they
how
going to win?
if I tell you how they're gonna
They
win, then
take all
that's
of
gonna
the
be leaky
Nexus's
Hyperion.
health. They take all of
Yeah,
the
they just
Nexus
hit the
health, and
Nexus. Like I don't know.
Thank
Do you
you.
even play the
Wow,
game?
that's it's just really smart, I guess, guys. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. But I like we said, I do think BDE is a good team, and I think they will be able to take a game off. They have been taking games off of teams, and like last week was the first week that they were actually able to close out the series, so they are getting better. Um, but like in this whole entire series, I do think Hyperion is gonna come out on top just because they're 5-0. They're pretty like scary to play against. They do have Rune Mage, and I don't believe Dracana is playing
Not this week, I think. Yeah.
at this week. Yeah. So,
No, I think he's going to come in now.
Oh.
oh, okay.
He's
Well,
it's
then,
like 50-50 if he's playing or not.
yeah, then it's
Oh.
like
Okay. No. No. Twitch chat is telling me he's playing.
He's playing?
Yeah.
he's playing.
Oh,
Okay.
he is?
Then,
Oh, 2-0. You
ah,
get your 2-1 out of here.
okay. Let's see why you think it's a 2-0 then. Come on.
Why it's a 2-0? You really want 5-0, 1-4. Done. And and Altazi's not playing. It's Psych. Now I'm not saying Psych is like a worse player. It's just Psych's pool is different than Altazi's, right? Altazi plays a lot more of the carries, while Psych plays a lot more of like the bruisers and tanks. Like, yes, you can carry through them. It's just a little bit harder. And I just think Hyperion just like, come on, Hyperion's the better team. They haven't lost a series. If they lose today, then I guess BD is just best team in the league and should just win it all. Now, if they do win today, this is going to be the biggest upset of the season. Like, this will be insane. And I would actually love to see it. Like, I'd be hyped if that happened. But I think Hyperion is very heavy favored to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ride off what you're saying, Clutch. It is really just Hyperion, right? Hyperion coming in is, I think, the better team, and without Altazi, like when you're playing around that kind of champion pool and you're trying to switch around, and then like we can't always expect Psych to carry,
Yep.
if he's playing like Ornn, right? Or if he's playing these kind of bruiser tanks, right? He will probably like win lane and stuff, but coming out of lane, right? He doesn't have that kind of power to carry. So I can imagine BDE maybe pulling an upset if we're trying to play around with different champion pools, but then again, then you're putting Psych off comfort, and then you're putting like a team in maybe an unfamiliar situation, right? So it really depends. But I agree, it would be huge if BDE wins this series. But I don't really have much else to add. So, any final thoughts before we move on?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so we'll look at our next series. So it is Hawthorne Esports versus
Oh
Flippa
yeah,
United.
we
So
are split.
I don't know where Sultan is. Sultan, he could back me up here. So honestly, every time I predict for Flippa, any like series they're playing in, I really just have to like flip a coin, right? It's like 50-50. I think Flippa United, like they're looking a lot more consistent as the season has gone on, right? And I think maybe going into it that this could be a win for them. Flippa, obviously, like I said earlier, isn't a team that's really to be like scoffed at, and I think if Spheric is playing this week, I think Spheric could put up a really really good fight between like him and Matty Mice. I think that's a really big matchup. Both of them obviously big playmakers for the teams. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to just like support matchups, support picks, and just how the whole game is really played between these two bot lanes. But I don't know. It's a flip, like I said. Flippa United, always a flip. It's just maybe it's the org, who knows? Or they're getting the sorry, Clutch. What did you call it? It's like the org,
What?
the BFE, when they like suddenly start
Oh
playing really
yeah,
well at the end of the
the
season.
BFE. Yeah, they throw at the beginning of the season. They just suck, and then the end of the season, it's like, yeah, let me just top team. Like,
Yeah,
what?
we saw that in season 1 too of
It
EDL. It
happens.
was Burger Flip.
JRB did it too.
Yeah, it like I don't know. Maybe this is this is the week. This is the turning point. We see Flippa United start just like popping off. We saw them play really well on stream against Monkeys Rising as well the other week. So I don't see this being like just a complete rollover stomp. So Matt Pizza, Clutch, you both said 2-1 for Hawthorne Esports. I'll start with you, Matt Pizza. You're a Hawthorne fan, if I remember, but
Hmm. Okay, guys, listen. So last weekend, last weekend,
Oh no.
they were playing in contingent finals, and they won. They had a really good coach that drafted for them. I won't say who it is,
My
uh,
God.
but
can't leak, can't leak.
I
Yeah, we
won't
can't
leak,
leak. Can't leak,
But
guys.
but they're coming off of a win, and I do think coming off of a win from another league, it really boosts your morale. And like going into this, like we might see some of week one Hacktone resurging, being much more aggressive, much more coordinated, and like what they learned from playing in the finals, from having that one coach draft for them, I think they might be able to replicate it even without his help. Because he's kind of busy this week.
Yeah.
Mm. But I think, yeah, like I said, I think they're gonna be able to try to mimic what he did, learn from how he drafted, and is able to like push forward that knowledge they gained in that finals into this game against football. And I think if you put Riv 60 and Spheric behind, then it's gonna be hard for Flipper to play.
It's yeah, it comes down to a lot of factors, like you said, Matt Pizza. If like I pointed out the bot lanes for both of these teams, and honestly, I did not know they were coming in from a tourney win. Congrats on that, Hawthorne. Tourney wins always feel quite nice, and yeah, like it comes down to if they're able to put them behind. Honestly, there's a lot of factors into both of these teams, but I don't really have too much else to say on that. So, Clutch, what are your thoughts then?
Um. Yeah, I mean Hawthorne, Flippa. I think both these teams are actually pretty close. But the biggest like factor to me, now obviously I said this before I knew Nats, you know, wasn't playing, but now that Nats is not playing, if I, would be able to change my prediction, I would just change it to 2-0 Hawthorne. Because I think that for the side of BFE, right, you have their bot lane. Both bot lanes I think are extremely talented. You have Counters and Matty Mice going up against Riv 60 and Spheric, right? Both bot lanes I think are evenly matched. So then like they're gonna go most probably gonna go even, right? So you have to look at the other three players. And I think you look at the side of BFE and you look at the side of Hawthorne, and it's like, well, what about Arth? Like Arth hasn't really gotten a lot of talk about this split, and he is their plat player, right? Like he's supposed to be their quote unquote best player. Now the team's been in a slump, but he's looked pretty solid. And him going up against Ominous, I think it's going to be pretty somewhat one sided for Arth. And I think Hawthorne is going to edge out the win. Now, if Flippa can get ahead bot lane with Spheric, with Riv 60, like that is going to be scary because those two players are insanely good. So for sure, obviously we said Hawthorne kind of, they were slipping a little bit, but coming off of wins in other leagues, they're starting to come back. They have a play style now, so maybe this is it. Maybe this is when they rebound. The tournament arc, literally, where they
True, walking
rebound and
out.
then
Hmm.
they come back. Now the thing that is really important about this game that is like kind of like it is relevant, but it's not really like about the game. So these teams are both tied, right? And Hawthorne has to play Hyperion next week. So for Hawthorne, they really do have to win this. Like you can't afford to lose. And both these teams are 2-3. Whoever wins this game is most likely in the playoffs. Right now, you're assuming BDE is going to lose the Hyperion, which I'm going to say is a fair assumption. Like we can assume that's going to happen. Whoever wins this game's in playoffs, basically. Flip a win, they're in. Hawthorne win, they're in. So one of these teams is in playoffs if they win. So this is literally the game of your season if you're teams. Whoever wins is in, and that's just absolutely massive. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, it's going to be a good series. And if
This will
if
be
we didn't have
close.
Rev MR streamed, this would be the game I wanted streamed because it's going to be really important for both these teams.
Yeah, I don't know why there was a team, Monkeys Rising is streamed like 3 times, and some teams only get streamed once. What's with that?
It was just random. That's what ended up happening after every team got streamed once.
All right. Yeah, sometimes people ask me if I'm streaming, like if I get to pick. I'm like, I'm not the one that picks. I
Dude,
just show up. So
I end up picking like everyone until they're streamed once, and then I put it names into a random generator and hit enter, and whatever shows up, those are the games being streamed for. I'm serious. That's actually how it's decided. So
well,
yeah,
you
I mean,
heard it,
Monkeys Rising
folks.
got it 3 times. That's just complete luck.
Well, that is that. So obviously for playoffs, we'll be. I think we're handpicking for playoffs.
Yeah, we're handpicking for
So
sure.
there is that. So we'll move on to our next game of the week. So it is VBU Krypton versus Abyssal Sapphire. Everyone just pointed out that I was like voting for every team, but I'm not. I'm
You know,
genuinely
I
I'm
gave
genuinely an
Abyssal a
Abyssal
win.
fan.
I gave Abyssal a win.
Okay, okay. This might be my hot take of the week. Honestly, Abyssal Sapphire, VBU Krypton, obviously they're right next to each other in the standings. This again is a really big matchup. We're in that point of the season where some teams may be like scrambling for wins. You're looking for these big head-to-heads, right? And I think that
Yep.
like if Abyssal takes this head-to-head against VBU, it's going to be really big. That'll put them
For playoff seeding.
yeah, for
Like
playoff
this is
seeding, it's
literally the
huge.
playoff series. Like I don't. It's two. It's going to be 2 versus 3, and that's VBU Abyssal. Like this is a playoff matchup, basically.
Yeah, so even if Abyssal does lose this series, I think they'll meet VBU again in playoffs.
Yeah.
So honestly, this is a really close matchup for me. I don't think it's going to be a 2-0 like Matt Pizza or Sultan did. I do think that these teams are very close in skill, obviously from where they are in the standings, but obviously, everyone says I'm not an Abyssal fan, but like what is this? Hello? So, I honestly think Abyssal is a better team than most people. Like, I feel like they don't get talked about a lot. I feel like we're always talking about like Hyperion. We're talking about VBU. We're talking about Hawthorne, right? Like these big and like flashy teams. I think that Abyssal is like quietly like making a name for themselves, and they're nothing to really like just push aside and ignore. So I'm just kind of putting my faith into them this week. Maybe this is my hot take of the week. But those are my thoughts. So, Matt Pizza, you said 2-0 for VBU. And I think the last time you said 2-0 for VBU, you know.
2-0, didn't they? It was VB versus Riv and they 2-0.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, so it was fun.
Ah. But listen, guys, like I think if we look at what I'm imagining is um just Kaiten, right? Kaiten 1v9 with
This
and
guy
all
is
characters.
actually just Chitin's biggest fan.
Here we
Alright, what
go.
I
have
mean,
I
dude,
not heard?
Altazi's
Here we
not
go.
playing this week, so I need someone.
Here we
And
go.
he, and like it's either Kaiden or Toxin, and like VB started winning when Kaiden joined the team. That's all I'm gonna say. So Toxin,
Here
if
we
you're
go.
watching this, I'm very sorry, but I just Kaiden fanboy at this time. But yeah, I think Kaiden is gonna carry the series and be the 1v9 menace, VBU's ace card.
So, you're saying that Chitin is better than Fire the Fox, even though they, like, hard smirked last week?
Yes,
It's a hot take.
hey, it is a hot take, and this might be my other hot take of this week. Not entirely sure how many I've had this week. Might be the first one, but I believe in Kaiden in order to just smurf on Fire of the Fox.
All right, well, we're gonna see how that goes. Obviously, this would have been a fun series to watch too. But Clutch, you said 2-1 VBU. What if
Yep.
it, the reverse psychology kicks in again?
Yeah, it happens again. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close series. Like this is potential playoff series. I've said it multiple times. This is going to be for seeding, basically. Who's going to be the second seed? This is it right here. Um, this is going to be the series. Now, obviously, this isn't being played tonight. It's going to be played Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So if anyone does want to watch this game, you can watch it off the league client. You won't have to play your game. So could end up doing that. See how these two teams play. But I think it's really, really close. Like I'm gonna give a slight edge to VBU. I'd say it's like 55-45. I think VBU is just a little bit better. However, Abyssal, I will say one thing. I voted Abyssal to beat Hawthorne. when Hawthorne was on fire, and you all looked at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, 2-0, Abyssal. They're going to win. And it happens. The upset of the week. I'm like, crazy. The second the Fire the Fox came in, this team instantly turned around and became a top team. Now, is that because the Fire the Fox is that good? Maybe. But I just think James Moriarty needed someone else. Like, he needed another player to be able to help carry the load of the team. And with the Fire Fox coming in, now he's not pressured with this 1v9. Like, you have to do everything. You have another player who can help you with that. And I mean, it's James Moriarty in the Fire of the Fox versus Chitin and Toxin. Like, that is what's going to happen. Like, who is going to be the better 2v2? And I will give a slight edge to VBU, but I would not be surprised if Abyssal won, because this is very, very close, and I think this is an insane matchup to watch for week 6.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agree that this is a huge series for both teams,
Yes.
and it's, I mean, yeah, I mean, okay, people are telling me I can stream this tomorrow. Okay, I could, but everyone also knows I sleep at like 5 in the morning. So, do I give up another like hour of sleep? I could
Sleep.
I need my sleep, people. I can't stream
True.
every game. I wish I could, but
Peppa hands.
not by hands. Unless someone,
No,
someone
I can't,
opens
man. My
opens
internet
the
sucks.
wallet and
Opens the wallet. Oh.
Okay, I say that. Okay, I'm going to say this on stream, but I've gotten a lot of offers to stream for other leagues and other people and orgs, but I say no because I all of my time goes into just the Monday and Friday streams. So, and I get a big, we're all volunteers, so you can probably guess how much money goes into everyone's pockets.
$100.
Yeah, minus
Yeah, you know how much?
100.
Yeah, I get negative 1 million in my pocket.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I think if Sultan were here, he would probably agree with Matt Pizza. Maybe he would just say it's a kites and diff. Who knows? But
Yep.
we'll have to move on. So this is our
Stream match.
last and streamed match of the week. So
Woo! And we all picked Rev.
we all picked Rev, indeed. So we're looking at the two circle logos. We've got Monkeys Rising, okay? The cool monkey with the sunglasses. I love this logo. If Packapaw's listening, dude, I like this logo a lot. Look at like the banana spells out literal monkeys, okay? It's a very good logo. And then we're looking at Revolution Esports. They did change it from last season. They had, I think it's the one that
It was like
Tex
red,
uses
blue,
on
red,
his
black.
yeah. It's the one that Tex uses for his personal stream, I think. That was the old logo. But like this is a cool like bird with the flag. I don't live in the
Cool.
United States, so I'm not sure if I completely resonate with this one as much as I resonate with the monkeys one. I'm breaking down logos, okay? This is
Okay. Logo power rank.
this is logo power rankings. So Revolution, I like the nice gradient they have going. The text is very like
So is this why you picked Rev?
yeah, I'm so Revolution Esports, you see that nice font, it's a very like clean, like looking futuristic looking font. It's got like 3 stars. There's some
Get me
really
out.
good symmetry. Okay, I'll stop rambling about logos. So 2-1 Rev, okay? Like I hate to break it to everyone that's a Monkeys Rising fan. It's not really rising. It's kind of like just monkeys falling, okay? Like,
Oh, Jesus.
please don't clip that. Monkeys Rising. I say that now someone's gonna clip it. Okay, Monkeys Rising is not a bad team. Okay, I think they've just been going through a lot of growing pains, a lot of rough patches. Like they have a lot of talent on the table, but I don't know if they're ready just yet for this kind of gold league. And we have a lot of good teams in the league right now. There like we're
Yeah.
looking at Hyperion, right? We're looking at like VB. Like just look at any of like the top 4 or 5, teams in the standings. And I think that Monkeys Rising is still in need of more time, more practice. And what Packapal said in Twitch chat earlier, this could be a big series for them, right? But they've lost so many at this point, and I don't know if they can save their season at this point. And when you're this far into the season and you have a record walking into like with that record and you're walking into a series, right? You're feeling kind of defeated, you know? And then that either puts you to make desperation plays or you're just giving up. So I
Yep.
don't know what Monkeys Rising is going to be doing this week, and I don't know. I want to be surprised. Hopefully, it's a good surprise. Please don't run it. So Clutch Matt Pizza, we're all on the Rev train. Matt Pizza, you also said 2-1 Revolution.
Hmm. So, I mean, like you said, logo diff, right? Like, let's go back into
Yeah.
the logo. It's like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I said, but
Um,
I like the Monkeys logo more than that. Okay.
well, I mean, it's also because you're not in America. It doesn't resonate with you.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I look at this series like Little Monkeys. Like, unfortunately, it is like the skill despair that we talked about. They are like a high silver, low gold team going against a like mid gold to high gold team. So there is going to be some skill disparity among the players, and like macro can only like fill in some of it, right? Like you still have people coming out of lane incredibly ahead, and it's just Rev favored. Now, do I think Little Monkeys are gonna just roll over and like just take the loss? No, they're definitely gonna fight back. They're gonna, band together, monkey up, and like just, win one game. All right, I believe in it. I believe in the coaching that is Pack-a-Paul, but I don't think they're gonna come out on this of the series on top.
So you said they would drop one game. Then here is your time to flame. Why do you think Revolution will lose the one game?
Um, So Revolution, they like to play around their jungler, BD and Zygon a lot, right? And when you have teams playing around you, that's a lot of pressure. And sometimes that pressure, can make you do questionable things, questionable plays, and like you might go down into a spiral of, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, and it, you might make the wrong plays. And those wrong plays end up costing you the game. And I think if you look at Rev, like when their jungler isn't doing well, they tend to not do well as well. And I just think there's just a lot of pressure on BD and Zygon for him being the like 1v9 player on their team to just, he's gonna mess up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just human.
Makes sense. Yeah, and like you said, it's a lot of pressure when you know, like we talked about like James Moriarty, right, on Abyssal, and it's a lot of pressure if you're the only person. So it changes a lot when there's another player in the picture because obviously that expands your champion pools. Like expands what kind of strategies you can play, and it gives you so much more flexibility and so many more options. And your team isn't always so predictable, right? It's easy to neutralize one person, but then that puts power into the other one, right? And makes a big difference. So I can see maybe Monkeys Rising does take a game off of Revolution, but I do still think that Revolution will come out on top. So Clutch,
Hmm.
last but not least, you said 2-0 Revolution.
Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, I did
okay.
say 2-0 Rev. So Rev has to win, or not Rev. Monkeys Rising has to win this week because they lose, they're out. They don't hold any tiebreakers. There's no way they would make it, right? Um, and the only tiebreaker they have is BDE. So they literally have to win this week. And for Rev with the win and a Monkeys Rising loss, or no, a BDE loss would be in. I think Rev is just like they're just a better team. I think Rev, yes, they haven't been the best this season, but I think Monkeys Rising, unfortunately, like they really haven't necessarily shown me enough to make me want to put Monkeys Rising over Rev. Now Monkeys Rising could upset tonight, and that would be huge. But to me, I think it's just very cut and dry that Rev most likely is going to.
Yeah, I mean again, I say this a lot, especially this week because we are at week 6 of a 7-week regular season. You're really scrambling for these last like 2 wins, right? That could make or break your season. And it's a lot of pressure, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if Monkeys Rising pulls out something new this week and on stream just because like Clutch mentioned, they need this series if they want any shot of playoffs. So, again, 8 p.m. Eastern, you're right here where the stream will happen, twitch.tv, /elemental_league. The person who had Elemental League is like some dead channel. I don't know if someone, wants to. I'm kidding.
Hmm.
I'm kidding. I'm happy where we are. So twitch.tv elemental_league. 8 p.m. Eastern. This is our stream match of the week. It'll be really important. Monkeys Rising is going to be looking for a series win. Otherwise, playoffs is out of the picture for them. And Revolution, they still have a chance if they lose this series, but again, it's still important to get the wins that you need and that you can, right? Going into playoffs if you're looking for something. And um yeah, other than that, I don't have a hype video this week. I didn't have any of the replays set up. So, sorry about that. I enjoyed my weekend though, Thank you. Thanks for asking. Okay. So, other than that, I will send you guys off with our title screen because this makes a good ending title screen, right? Yeah. 8 p.m. Eastern, Monkeys Rising versus Revolution Esports Gold. Hopefully, we'll see all of you guys there, and thanks for tuning in.